Hey guys, today I'm changing my violin strings, so I'm going to show you how I do it. Thanks so much for joining me here at Violin with Catherine. If you're a regular, welcome on back. If you're new, please make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. So today I am putting on some Peter Infeld strings just because I like them. But you can put whatever strings you prefer. When you're purchasing your new strings, make sure you pick the right size, so a full size or 3/4 or half size violin, whatever size your violin is. And make sure you get the right type of string. So with the tailpiece like this, I have a ball end, or I use a ball end string, but some violins you need a hoop end. So we change our strings one at a time just to make sure that the bridge and the sound post, which is inside there, don't fall down. So we need to kind of keep that pressure on. Make sure you get the correct string. And after you've changed it, I always put the string straight back into this. If the strings are in reasonable condition, you can use them for spare strings. So I'm going to do my G string. So I'm going to unwind my G string, turning it towards me, and just pulling off the old string. Here, this is the ball end, and that loops in there easily. I have something here called peg paste. I don't always use it, but if the pegs are getting a little bit stiff, it can be a good time to put some on. It's important not to use too much, so I'm just going to put a little bit on there today. Just going to wipe a little bit on there. And that will just help this the peg to move a little bit more smoothly in the peg box there. So when you get your new string, you're going to thread the string through this little hole. So let me get my string out. So G string, make sure you get the G string, the correct string. I'm going to pull my old one out, and I'm actually going to put my, pull my new string out. I'm going to put my old one straight back in there, so that I don't mix them up. Sometimes it's really easy to tell, especially between the G and the E string, but depending on the strings that you're using, sometimes it's hard to tell the difference between, especially the D and the A strings. So also what I'm going to do before I put my string in there is I've got a pencil here, and I'm just going to put a little bit of pencil, a little pencil marking for some graphite, just to help it run more smoothly, the new string into the little groove on the bridge, and also up here on the nut. There's a little groove up here. Don't put too much, but just a little bit. So when I put my string, my peg back in, it has to be in the peg box, but it's just like you're threading a needle. So you're just going to thread it through the little hole. So I don't like to poke it through too much because it looks really messy having that on the other side. So I like to put it through just a little bit. And when I wind it around, I'm going to wind it on one side first, and then I'm going to swap it to the other side, and that makes it nice and neat. I hope I can show you that when I've got it in here. So I'll pop my peg back in to the peg box up here, and I hoop my string in down here. Also, I will also loosen my fine tuners as far as they'll go, pretty much, so there's plenty of room for them to turn. Okay, there we go, I've got it in there. So that's my G string done. I'm going to do my E string next. So unwinding that one, let's find the E string, so make sure you've got the right one. E string over here. I've actually not seen this before. So in my E string, it actually came with a loop end, as opposed to the ball end. So in this little pack, it's got the little rubber, little plastic protector, which is just to protect the E string from, or the bridge from the E string cutting into it. Now mine already has a little bit of a protector on there, on the bridge, so I don't think I need to use that. But I will get the little ball end, because I do need that. Now, I've seen another video where someone actually popped the ball out when they didn't need it, so that's interesting that it's come the opposite way. Okay, let me try and get this out. So let's see if I can do this. Never done this before. Oh, that was easy. Whoops, no, not so easy. Where did it go? So I've just got this little tiny ball and this little hoop, and I have to try and join them together. Aha! Snap! It's in there. So let's take off this old E string. Strings need to be changed periodically, of course, but how often will depend how much you play them. And I'm going to put a little peg paste on here as well, not too much. Sometimes strings just don't last very long, so that's just a thing of strings. Sometimes they start unraveling and you can feel it all yucky along here where you put your fingers a lot. Let's put a little bit of pencil on there. Sometimes they start looking a bit rusty, especially some of the cheaper ones. And if neither of those, they can just start sounding a bit dull. So that's generally when it's time to change them. So when I wind it, I'm going to wind it one side on this side. This is the E string. So I'm going to wind it one time on this side of the peg, and then I'm going to roll it to the other side, and then it will be nice and close to the peg box and you can get it really nice and tidy. Okay, so I'm attempting to do this. This is at a really awkward position, but I will try to show you what I'm talking about with this rolling thing. This is the last one, so hopefully it works. Okay, so I'm doing the A string. So I'm threading it through. Just a little bit. And then I'm going to hold it tight. Not too tight, but a little bit. So I'm looping it around one time on the left side. I pass the other side of the hole, and then as I come around to where I first entered the hole, go to the other side. So now I'm on the right hand side. So now it's going to roll right up next to the wood of the peg box. And I'm just going to make sure it's still looped in down the bottom. Just holding it with my thumb a little bit, and just actually that's not in down the bottom, so just make sure it's on the groove, over the groove on the, and I did it and I showed you, yay! So that's it, that's done. I've just got to tune it up now. Just be careful, just keep an eye on the bridge. Sometimes it does like to move a little, so just make sure it does stay nice and straight, tall. So you want it to be nice and straight. You don't want it to bend over like this at all. So your new strings will go out of tune quite a lot over the first couple of days, but just play them in. They'll also sound quite tinny when you first put them on, but just play them in and they'll be perfect in a day or two. Thanks for joining me here today. I hope that was a helpful tutorial on how to change your string. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure you hit the like button down below and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.